Barcelona have acted with unusual urgency this week, quietly but firmly removing one of their brightest young midfielders from Spain's under-21 squad and setting off a storm of questions about who exactly gets to decide a prodigy's future. The name at the centre is Marc Bernal, barely 18, adored by La Masia, faithful, and only just resurfaced from an ACL that kept him out for more than a year. The RFEF announced his withdrawal, citing a physical discomfort, and Wolves' young Fer Lopez was named to replace him. On paper, that's a simple medical choice, but the story beneath the headline is anything but straightforward. To understand why this feels bigger than a routine injury update, you have to rewind. Bernal's injury was not a small setback. It was a career-defining rupture that erased a full season. Barcelona's medical and coaching teams shepherded him through surgery, rehab, and the delicate first weeks of a return to training, and only in mid-September, after more than a year in the dark, was he officially declared fit. The club's cautious approach has been obvious. Minutes were kept deliberately low, the risks were discussed in private, and every appearance, since the clearance has been measured in handfuls of game time, barely 20-odd minutes in competitive action. But limited exposure matters now because it is the reason Barcelona argued forcefully that Bernal should stay under their immediate supervision rather than jump into international duty. From another angle, the Spanish U21 call-up made sense. National coaches want to accelerate top talent back into international rhythm, to stake their claim on young players before other nations can, and to test them in a different environment. But when club and federation disagree about timing, the player is the one who ends up on the tightrope. Barcelona's case was straightforward. They wished to prioritize a careful reintegration, believing that rushing Bernal back into a compact international camp could risk a relapse or delay his full recovery. The federation, having already announced squads, reviewed medical files with the club and ultimately agreed to withdraw him, language that sounds polite on paper but hints at a tug-of-war behind closed doors. For supporters, the headlines raise immediate fears. Could a mismanaged call-up undo months of painstaking rehab? Could an extra hard training session or a late sub-appearance trigger a setback? Those are not hypothetical for families and club doctors who know the precarious psychology of a major knee injury. Trust is fragile, confidence has to be rebuilt rep by rep, and a single tough session at the wrong time can rewind progress in a flash. But there is also a countervailing pressure. Opportunities at international youth level are rare and visibly transformative for a youngster's trajectory. A strong U21 showing can accelerate transfers, widen exposure to top scouts, and cement a place in a senior national conversation. That tension, protecting health versus seizing opportunity, is the drama here, and it's why fans and pundits are split. Looking forward, the most important question is practical. What does Barcelona do now? In the short term, the answer is obvious. Continue measured training, gradually increase minutes in low-pressure contexts, and resist the temptation of a fast-forwarded schedule. For Bernal, the next 6 to 12 months are a test of how well the club can rebuild, not only strength in his knee, but match fitness, tactical sharpness, and the mental resilience that follows a long layoff. If Barcelona handle it right, he could re-emerge as the same creative, ball-progressive midfielder he was before the injury, but tempered and more robust. If mishandled, the setback could become a defining scarce calamity that derails momentum and invites outside criticism about medical protocols. There's also a broader, almost institutional fallout to watch. How will this affect Barca's relationship with Spain's federations and with national team coaches who covet youth talent? Club federation friction is not new, but when it involves a marquee academy product, the headlines burn brighter. Will federations become more conservative in future call-ups for recently injured youngsters, or will they push to claim talent early, regardless of club objections? The answer will shape dozens of careers beyond Bernal's. For now, the immediate takeaway is simple and stark. Barcelona has put the young man's health ahead of short-term spectacle, and in a results-driven game that's a statement as much as a medical decision. So while Fer Lopez steps into the upcoming fixtures and Spain adjusts its plans, the real story will unfold quietly on training pitches and in minutes managed by club staff. Fans will watch each substitution and every jog carefully, hoping the boy who once lit up La Masia with promise will find his rhythm. This was never only about a single call-up. It's about how modern football balances ambition and care, and whether a club will take the tough, unpopular road to protect a young life's work, even if it means a temporary headline loss. If Barcelona's gamble pays off, Marc Bernal won't be a cautionary tale. He'll be a case study in how to safeguard a prodigy until he's truly ready.